In the A Quiet Place franchise, humanity faces an implacable and terrifying threat: the Death Angels. These extraterrestrial creatures, also known as Dark Angels, have devastated society and brought humanity to the brink of extinction. In this video, we will delve into these alien creatures, exploring their origins, biological adaptations, survival mechanisms, and the complex lore that makes them one of the most intriguing alien species in recent cinematic history. The Death Angels are formidable extraterrestrial predators that have sown terror in human minds since their unexpected arrival on Earth. These creatures possess an extraordinary set of physiological abilities that make them lethal and almost unstoppable. Their most distinctive feature is their lack of eyes. However, this is far from a weakness. Instead of sight, they rely on an incredibly acute sense of hearing to navigate and hunt, using a form of sonar echolocation. This adaptation allows them to detect even the faintest sounds, making any noise a possible death sentence for their prey. Physically, the Death Angels are imposing and terrifying. They stand between 6 to 9 feet tall, with a physique that combines the strength and agility of a gorilla with the predatory instincts of an insect. Their movement is both swift and deliberate, capable of shifting from crawling to an upright posture with ease. This versatility in movement allows them to cover ground quickly and attack from unexpected angles, making them formidable hunters. However, they tend to ignore continuous rhythmic sounds like rain, fountains, and waterfalls, which can help mask other noises. For example, in A Quiet Place Day 1, when a generator automatically turns on after a blackout, its noise does not attract the creatures. But when one of the characters unplugs the generator and accidentally tears his shirt on a piece of metal, one of the creatures detects him. One of the most notable features of the Death Angels is their exoskeleton, which acts as a protective armor. This natural armor is incredibly tough, making them nearly invulnerable to conventional weapons. Bullets, blades, and even explosions have little effect on their hard surface, increasing their danger and making them incredibly difficult to kill. This exoskeleton is not just a defensive feature, it also enhances their offensive capabilities. Their limbs are equipped with sharp claws, similar to those of a crustacean that can cut through most materials with ease. These claws are their primary weapons, used to tear apart anything that poses a threat or makes noise. The combination of their powerful limbs and sharp claws makes them efficient killers, capable of eliminating prey quickly and with brutal efficiency. Beyond their physical attributes, the Death Angels exhibit a level of behavioral adaptation that is both fascinating and terrifying, as these creatures are relentless in their pursuit of sound, often ignoring other sensory stimuli in their singular focus on noise. This determination makes them incredibly dangerous, as they will stop at nothing to eliminate the source of any disturbance. Despite their fearsome reputation, there is an enigmatic quality to the Death Angels. Their origins, although partially understood, remain shrouded in mystery. It is said that they come from a lightless planet with harsh environmental conditions and higher gravity, which has shaped their evolution into these relentless predators. The destruction of their home planet and their subsequent journey through space have only added to the mystery of their origins, painting a picture of a species that has endured and adapted to survive against all odds. The history of the Death Angels is rooted in the depths of a distant, lightless planet where they evolved as superb predators. This mysterious home world, shrouded in perpetual darkness, presented a harsh and relentless environment that shaped the Death Angels into the formidable creatures they are. The planet's conditions, marked by extreme gravity and hostile terrain, demanded resilience and strength for survival. Over countless generations, these creatures adapted to their dark surroundings, developing exceptional echolocation abilities that allowed them to navigate and hunt despite lacking the sense of sight. Due to the higher gravity on their planet, their movement might have been somewhat slower and clumsier, but on Earth, their evolution perfected their physical prowess, resulting in formidable strength, speed, and agility, making them the undisputed apex predators of Earth. Despite their dominance, the home planet of the Death Angels was not immune to natural disasters. The precise cause of its destruction remains uncertain. My theory is that due to the lack of light in their world, they might have lived on a rogue planet. This type of planet can originate in planetary systems where it forms and is then expelled, or it can also form by itself outside a planetary system. In the Milky Way alone, there could be billions to trillions of rogue planets. Their planet might have collided with another planet, causing it to fragment. As their planet crumbled, the Death Angels clung to fragments of it, possibly entering a state of hibernation to survive the harsh conditions of space. This state of lethargy preserved their vital functions and energy, allowing them to endure the immeasurable time and journey through the void of space. Enclosed within these meteors, they drifted aimlessly through the galaxy, carried by the inexorable forces of gravity. Their period of lethargy came to an abrupt and violent end when the meteors crash-landed on Earth. The impact of these celestial bodies brought chaos and destruction to the planet, marking the beginning of their invasion of our world. The violent descent and subsequent explosions of the meteors served as the creatures' abrupt awakening, triggering their predatory instincts and unleashing them upon an unsuspecting world, which in the words of John Krasinski, is like releasing a pack of wolves in a nursery. According to Lee's newspaper clipping, there were 127 confirmed meteor impact sites of the Death Angels. It is assumed that several fragments of these broke off and landed in multiple locations around the world, such as New York and Shanghai. The creatures arrived in Millbrook minutes after landing on Earth, and the largest fragment landed in Mexico. Emerging from the wreckage of the impacts, the Death Angels wasted no time adapting to their new environment. Within moments of their arrival, they began their assault on life on Earth. Their acute hearing and sensitivity to sound became their primary tools for hunting, and anything that made noise became a target. The sudden and brutal nature of their attacks led to widespread panic and chaos, overwhelming human defenses and infrastructure. The relentless offensive of the Death Angels resulted in a rapid and catastrophic collapse of human society. Major cities were devastated as these creatures ravaged urban centers, drawn by the sounds of civilization. In a short period, the Death Angels had decimated large portions of the human population, driving survivors into hiding and forcing them to adapt to a world where silence became synonymous with survival. As the Death Angels continued to spread across the globe, humanity's struggle to understand and fight these alien invaders intensified. The latest installment of the franchise, A Quiet Place Day 1, offers an intense and harrowing depiction of the initial moments of the Death Angels' invasion, focusing on the immediate impact and widespread chaos that followed. Set against the bustling and densely populated backdrop of New York City, the film immerses viewers in the heart of the catastrophe, capturing the pure panic and total devastation as these otherworldly predators descended upon an unsuspecting metropolis. The invasion began abruptly, with meteor fragments carrying the Death Angels crashing into the urban landscape. The sky lit up with fiery trails as the extraterrestrials made their violent entry, announcing the arrival of the Death Angels. The initial shockwave and impact explosions caused widespread destruction, toppling buildings and igniting fires. The city's emergency response was almost immediately overwhelmed as the magnitude of the disaster became apparent. In the ensuing chaos, the Death Angels emerged from the debris, their predatory instincts instantly activated by the cacophony that a bustling city like New York produces. The creature's hypersensitive hearing turned every sound into a beacon for attack. Sirens, car alarms, and the terrified screams of the population became deadly lures, drawing the Death Angels to their prey with terrifying precision. The film portrays the desperate attempts of the government and law enforcement to contain the situation. Authorities imposed a lockdown, urging citizens to stay indoors and remain silent. However, the scale and ferocity of the Death Angels' assault rendered these measures largely ineffective. Scenes of military and police forces confronting the creatures highlight the futility of conventional weaponry against the Death Angels' impenetrable exoskeletons. Bullets and explosives proved useless, only adding to the cacophony that attracted more Death Angels to the fight. In a desperate attempt to halt the creatures' advance, the government resorted to bombing key bridges and tunnels, aiming to isolate Manhattan and prevent the Death Angels from spreading further. These drastic measures resulted in even more chaos, as the explosions and collapsing infrastructure created new sources of noise, attracting swarms of death angels. The sight of bridges crumbling into the river and tunnels collapsing demonstrated the magnitude of the destruction and the sense of hopelessness gripping the city. Amidst the carnage, the film follows the harrowing experiences of several characters trying to survive the onslaught. Families are separated, friends are lost, and city residents are forced into a desperate struggle for survival. The story highlights both the bravery and despair of the survivors as they navigate the new perilous landscape where silence is the only defense. Some survivors manage to escape the initial devastation, seeking refuge on nearby islands. The film depicts frantic evacuations at ports and docks, where the noise of boarding boats attracts the relentless death angels. Scenes of survivors crowding onto vessels, hoping to reach safety, contrast with the horrifying sight of death angels attacking those left behind. Only a few boats manage to depart, carrying the fortunate few who escape the immediate danger. Despite reaching the relative safety of the islands, the survivors are not entirely free from threat. The second film shows that the death angels, though unable to swim, find ways to reach these new locations. Whether clinging to debris or boarding boats, they continue to pursue their prey. This constant threat underscores the persistent danger the death angels pose, even beyond the initial invasion sites. The anatomy of the death angels is remarkably adapted to their predatory lifestyle, making them exceptionally suited for the conditions of their home planet and, by extension, the terrestrial environment. Their most striking feature is their exoskeleton, a robust armor-like shell developed under the extreme gravitational forces of their homeworld. This natural armor offers unparalleled protection against physical threats, making them nearly invulnerable to most man-made weapons. This resilience is a crucial factor in their survival, as it allows them to withstand gunfire, explosions, and other forms of conventional attack with minimal damage. Beneath their tough exterior, the death angels possess a more delicate physiology, particularly around their sensory organs. Their heads are protected by facial plates that can open and close, safeguarding their hypersensitive ears. These ears, composed of intricate bony structures and soft tissue, are finely tuned to detect even the faintest sounds. This advanced auditory system allows the death angels to navigate and hunt with terrifying precision. When hunting, they can open these facial plates to amplify incoming sound waves, an adaptation essential for survival on their dark and hostile home planet. This capability has made them nearly unstoppable on Earth, where their acute hearing serves as both a weapon and a crucial survival tool. Their physical prowess extends far beyond their sensory abilities. The death angels possess powerful limbs ending in sharp claws, similar to those of a crustacean, which can cut through most materials with ease. These claws, along with their immense strength, allow them to climb walls, buildings, and even ceilings with remarkable dexterity. Additionally, they can run at extreme speeds, reaching up to 300 miles per hour. This combination of incredible strength, rapid speed, and impressive agility enables them to move quickly and attack with deadly efficiency. A key mystery surrounding the death angels has been their diet, particularly why they kill without consuming their prey. A Quiet Place Day 1 provides crucial insights into this enigma, revealing that the death angels do not eat humans directly, but instead use human bodies to cultivate their own food. These creatures establish nests where they immerse human corpses in pools of pink, glassy liquid. These pools convert the bodies into nutrients that sustain their offspring and grow spore-like sacs that the death angels consume, ensuring the survival and growth of their young. This behavior indicates that the death angels are not biologically compatible with the direct ingestion of terrestrial life forms. Instead, they transform human bodies into nutrients through a strange and macabre process. This revelation suggests a form of alien agriculture where the death angels create chrysalis and fungus-like sacs from the remains of their victims. These sacs serve as a food source for their young, hinting at a disturbing method of reproduction and sustenance. Despite their formidable exoskeleton, the death angels have notable weaknesses. Their most significant vulnerability is their inability to swim. Their dense bodies prevent them from floating, causing them to drown in deep waters. This limitation provides a crucial escape route for humans and a potential method of containment. Situations involving water, such as rivers, lakes, or even flooded areas, can become strategic refuges for human survivors. This vulnerability also reveals that the creatures need to breathe oxygen to survive, raising the question of how they endured the vacuum of space. One theory suggests they transformed the interior of the meteors into self-sustaining colonies, extracting oxygen from the surrounding rocks to survive the long journey. The Death Angels might achieve this through a biological process similar to chemolithotrophy. In this process, they harbor or symbiotically interact with microorganisms that extract oxygen from minerals through the oxidation of inorganic compounds. This allows them to produce oxygen as a byproduct, ensuring they have the necessary resources to sustain themselves during their interstellar voyage. This method is efficient, operates at relatively low energy, and leverages existing biological systems, making it a plausible adaptation for survival in the harsh conditions of space. Another crucial weakness lies in their sensitive hearing. The Death Angels can be incapacitated by high-pitched sound frequencies, which cause them intense pain and force them to open their facial plates. This exposure reveals their soft and vulnerable internal tissue, making them susceptible to fatal attacks. In the first film, this method is successfully employed by Regan Abbott, who uses her cochlear implant to emit a debilitating feedback noise. This tactic is further developed in later films, demonstrating that exploiting their auditory sensitivity is the most effective way to combat these creatures. High-pitched sound frequencies disrupt their advanced auditory system, providing a rare and crucial opportunity to kill them. Although the Death Angels are not sentient and act primarily on instinct, they exhibit behaviors that suggest a form of primitive intelligence. Their ability to hunt in packs and communicate through clicking sounds indicates a level of social organization. This communication likely helps them coordinate attacks and maintain territory, adding another layer to their threat level. The clicking sounds they produce seem to serve as a form of intraspecific communication, possibly used to signal presence, coordinate movements, or even share information about prey. In the most recent movie, the presence of an alpha or queen Death Angel suggests a hierarchical structure within their species. This larger and more imposing creature appears to play a central role in the group's survival and coordination, suggesting a complex social dynamic that goes beyond mere instinctual behavior. The alpha's role may involve directing the actions of other Death Angels, securing food sources, and establishing new territories, indicating that while not sentient, the Death Angels operate with a level of strategic coordination that enhances their effectiveness as predators. The A Quiet Place franchise has masterfully created a terrifying and captivating story around the Death Angels. These creatures, with their combination of biological adaptations and savage behavior, represent an existential threat to humanity. Their arrival on Earth has forced survivors to adapt to a world where silence is the key to survival, and even the slightest sound can mean death. Despite their formidable nature, the weaknesses of the Death Angels offer a glimmer of hope for humanity. Understanding their vulnerabilities and developing strategies to exploit them is crucial for survival. The discovery that high frequencies can incapacitate them offers a potential weapon, while their inability to swim could provide more safe havens near bodies of water for the remaining survivors. In the end, the struggle between humanity and the Death Angels is not just a battle for survival, but also a quest for understanding. The more survivors learn about these creatures, the better prepared they will be to face the threats they pose, and perhaps we might see a future movie where humans reclaim Earth from the creatures. Until then, silence remains their most potent defense, and the fight for survival continues. Hey, don't go just yet. If you enjoyed my video, I'd love to recommend another one for you to watch.